And now, it is my great pleasure to introduce our first honoree, Dr. Heather Burton, a member of the vanguard ensuring access for women of color and women with disabilities into STEM. She serves as the project director for the institution's Developing Excellence in Academic Leadership National Ideal End Project. She is dynamic, and her work in the Academy puts women of color in the forefront with the goal of equitable access, not only for education, but to provide a full range of opportunities available in the Academy. Welcome, Heather. So good to see you.
You too, Margaret. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be a part of this celebration and to be a part of the honorees this year.
Well, it's wonderful to have you, and I'm just in awe of the work that you do. You truly are just a powerful force in terms of the work around STEM. The goal of Ideal N is to build learning communities across 10 research universities to promote gender equality in academic, science, and engineering disciplines. Tell me what women in these fields are facing in these disciplines today.
We know historically that STEM disciplines were male-dominated, white male-dominated. And so in that, there are still the effects or the trickle-down issues that impact women within these fields. And some of those include work-life balance, salary equity, as well as having to deal with implicit bias or even just bias and microaggressions. It's a shame that in 2020, when women still have to deal with comments that are around their role as a woman, whether they should be home, or comments such as, I figured that you wouldn't want to be PhD because you want to be married and have a child. And so when you're dealing with those type of comments still in 2020, it affects women within these fields.
It's amazing in 2020 that women are still faced with that. And I know what you're saying is real and happens to women. Your career has been creating and advancing opportunities for women and minorities in STEM. Tell me about the legacy that you want to leave.
I guess, you know, when I think about legacy and I think about the legacy that I want to leave, it's really the work that I do with individuals and students. And so anytime that I speak, I present, I talk, I always end it with this motto. And I think when I talk about legacy, this is how I want to be remembered. If God uses me to touch, motivate, or change one person, then my work is not in vain. And so if I can change, motivate, and touch one person through the power of God, then my work's not in vain. And so that's all I look for, and that's the only legacy that I want to leave.
Well, I've certainly had an opportunity to meet a number of your students, and I do know exactly how they feel about you. You're an amazing mentor. And I want to ask you about anti-racism and how you see women playing a role in ensuring that organizations and companies become anti-racist organizations.
It's interesting that you asked that question because I was doing a diversity training once and someone asked me, why don't we teach from an anti-racist perspective? And so when I think about organizations and anti-racism, first people have to accept that racism exists. And they have to get beyond this idea that racism is only attached to the KKK and wearing hoods. And when we can get beyond that, then organizations will be able to accept what anti-racism really is and what the effect that it needs to be within that organization. And as women, especially a woman of color, it's really standing up for racial equity. And it needs to be ingrained within the fabric of that institution. So as a woman, we have the power. And I always think about Sojourner Truth and paraphrasing her quote, that if one woman can turn the world upside down, then all of us collectively as women can turn it right side up.
Love that. Love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
and congratulations.
Thank you.